Thanks for watching Beyond the Brick. Show off your LEGO fandom with our brand new merch line. Link in the description. Now enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel Stoner. I'm 19 years old, and on the Flickr, Facebook, and my website, I'm known as NS Brick Designs. For Brick Fair Virginia 2018, I brought a new series of approximately 1 foot tall brick-built characters. Last year, if you guys saw the video, I had a group of 5 heroes that I brick-built, and I said that I would bring back 5 villains for this year to make it 10. And I'm pleased to say that I got it to work out, so I have the 5 villains that are my main attraction for this year.
Nice. So if you just want to start kind of down at the end here and we'll make our way through?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end here, we have Ras al Ghul, or the Demon's Head. So he's the leader of the League of Assassins, which is a very common DC or Batman-affiliated group. And he's always known for kind of being immortal with the power of the Lazarus pit there. So I had a little bit of fun with that using translucent fins, like plain wings on there. So that was fun. It adds like the layered texture. And, you know, just the little details of how it came together, like the drip from his hands and all that, I thought was pretty cool. With the villains, I tried to include more Easter eggs from the show. So he's based off the show Arrow, the same as the Green Arrow figure I have. And he has these little things, I call them like training dummies. I don't know what the proper term is, but they always practice on them on the show. And then on the show, it's just a very dark tan and wooden structure that is Nanda Parbat, where he's based out of. So I'm pretty happy with how he came out. He might be my favorite character after all, even though he's not like my favorite villain. I prefer Deathstroke, which will be the next one. But I think the way he came together, I just really like it. Yeah. The second one is Deathstroke. He probably has the most Easter eggs on him. The character himself was tough to do. He's a bit bulky because he is wearing armor for the show, and his head's a little bit bigger because he wears a helmet. He's Australian intelligence, so it's basically like a prototype combat suit that they use, and he steals it after he goes kind of crazy and becomes a supervillain. His base, I really like his base. It's based off the show. Again, it's the part of a cargo plane. So as a ASIS intelligence officer, he crash lands on an island with Oliver Queen and lives out of the cargo plane. And inside the cargo plane are kind of the Easter eggs. There's a net that they actually sleep in on the show. There's a fire pit where they cook their food, lots of crates. And then there's a bowl of water that Oliver uses to slap water for his training. Sounds very weird, but if you watch the show, you'll understand it. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out, especially because there is no internal support to hold it up. It's all just based off the hinges that I used to curve it. So I'm pretty happy with how stable it came out. And just the greebling and all that turned out really well, like using the stud shooters and all that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I love the color combination. That orange is such a nice contrast to the darker blues and blacks there. And then what's the piece for the belt kind of around his chest?
Oh, the bandolier, I don't know for sure. I think it's from a Hero Factory set or a Bionicle, something like that. I only had the one, but it worked perfectly because he has 3, I think they're grenades or ammo packs right there. And most of the characters have detailing on the back. His sword can come off. He can hold it in his hand. But since Raish is holding his, I didn't want to have it too redundant. And I also literally just noticed that somebody put a little present in there. Special snowflake. Okay, so I'm a special builder, apparently. That's what that's supposed to mean.
You gotta have your printed bricks.
Exactly. So that's a little surprise I didn't notice. So there we go. That's my surprise, too. And then the third one here, we have Deadshot. And he is entirely based off of Will Smith's character from Suicide Squad. He's the only part of that movie I liked. You can leave hateful comments below, but I hated that movie. But Will Smith was great, and his character was very tough to design because he wears a white and gray balaclava and then an eyepiece that sticks out for his targeting system. So that was interesting. I had a lot of fun building his rifle. That's actually probably my favorite accessory that I made for these guys, and it's one of the first things I did, actually. And he does have wrist gauntlets that use a little technique with joysticks to be the actual like cannons that he has on his wrists that he can shoot people with. And then the base was incredibly random, incredibly made up on the spot. It's not anything specific, but on the side, just one little Easter egg is there is a little board that has LexCorp on it. So another DC Easter egg for fans. And I'm just happy with how all that came out. The third one is Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold. Many people don't know him, but if you watch the Flash television show on the CW, you'll recognize him. So he's basically a Mr. Freeze, but a little bit lesser known, and he's more based on like bank robberies and stuff like that, which is why I have a base that's designed in the aspect of a bank. Underneath the vault does open and close, and there is some money inside there because it's a vault and you gotta have money. And I just like how I basically just built the vault door with the, I don't know what you call it, but the lock system, and then I just took a bunch of clips and all that and put the ice on it like he sprayed it with his gun.
Yeah, that kind of ice dripping down is a very nice effect.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to do something like that because that's Captain Cold for you. And his gun, I think, is my favorite accessory I did because it's just really fun to put together, and it's very sound. It doesn't look like it, but it's very sturdy. And his hand had to be modified a little bit to hold it because of the weight, but it turned out okay. And he doesn't have it on, but he has like a hood that I just brick built in the back because I didn't want to. I had one character with a hood, had a tough time with that in the first place, so I just decided to scrap it and do a little one on the back because then you can see his glasses on there too. So
his clothing seems particularly unique with the pieces facing out there.
Yeah, it's him and Ras al Ghul and Vibe that I built last year. They have jackets, obviously, with their or Ras al Ghul has a cape, and there's no good way to do it. And when I was designing it, at first I had the studs facing out, but then you'd have to tile it all, and I didn't feel like tiling it. So if I do it inside, it just adds that texture. And then I can actually put little detailing on the outside like I did on Ras al Ghul. So it's a very hard, complex technique to get it to stay and be stable enough that it doesn't fall off every time you move it, and get the shoulders be able to move in there too. So that is tough, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out, especially on him because he's bulky with the parka on.
Sure.
And then the fifth and last villain I made for this year is Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. And again, he's based off the television show. A couple of people have asked why are his gloves and arms and boots black, and the thing is that they technically aren't black on the show, but they are faded. So he basically runs back in time so much and runs so fast that his suit has become faded over time. So that's the best way I could represent that without going too crazy, because I wanted to make sure he had enough yellow so people got who he was right off the bat. So that was a little bit of a compromise, but I think it turned out okay. But he was the first one I built for this year, so I built him back in, I don't know, let's just say 2 months ago, somewhere around there. And I first had not enough yellow, which you might think that's kind of crazy, but I needed specialty parts. But thanks to a guy in my local Pennsylvania Lego user group, I was able to get parts from him and was able to complete him. So that was really great, and I appreciate Chris for that. And he is very stable. I won't do it now just in case something goes wrong, but I can pick him off the base and kind of play with him like an action figure. He turned out very stable compared to everybody else because he's athletic and he can just be compressed. So because they're skinny. And then the base is probably more interesting because I wanted to have something to bridge the gap between the heroes and the villains this year. So they were built the same height and the same road technique as the Flash himself, and I figured that would be just a great way to, especially I ended up on the corner, so that's just very convenient. Ended up on the corner here. So it kind of bridges the gap, and it's just a cool thing. Obviously the bottom here is updated to be a little bit more futuristic since he is from the future. Maybe sewers are cleaner in the future. I don't know. I made it up. But it works. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they all came out, and with the old ones, I didn't change anything on the old characters, but when I look at them, I can really see how they've improved and gotten thinner and less bulky over time, or at least the ones that didn't need to be bulky.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic series of characters, and I'm glad you've continued to expand into the villains here. Do you have planned to do more of these in the future?
I don't know. If I do some, it'll kind of be like 1 or 2 here and there just for my own enjoyment, but I don't want to overdo it. Next year I want to build some Star Wars stuff that aren't characters, more minifigure battle scenes. So yeah, I might expand it, but some of them are even going to be taken apart as soon as I get home from here. So yeah, I don't think you should expect to see many more, but who knows? Everything can change within a year. So
that's right. Well, thanks for bringing them out to Brick Fair, and thanks for chatting with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.